So Reaper works and your money doesn't go to fill a murder's canteen, right? Well, let's take a look at her resume. First up, Long John Silver's.
Of the Long John Silver's that I worked at during lunchtime.
Long John Silver's is true. Up next, Varolo, a basic MLM. The site owner hides his identity. Spammers use this information for their promos, and it's also misused by scammers. Embarrassing. True. Up next, she claimed to have all three of these jobs in Romania. First up, a hacker. Surprise, surprise.
I used to hack. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Back in the early 2000s, I was a hacker. It was me and some of my friends from Romania, and we did eBay hacking. What we did is the main guy in Romania, I'm not going to say his name, he would get people's credit card numbers, order things on eBay, have it delivered to myself or 3 other people here in the U.S., and we would keep what we wanted and sell what we didn't want. And I did that for a long time, and then...
Okay, Reaper, why not? Next, she claimed to be an English teacher that made over quadruple the average income, all with no degree or training.
I was an English teacher.
Were you?
For adults. It was an American company. They sold phone cards. You know those prepaid phone cards from back in the early 2000s? And the owner, he opened up shop in Romania. And my job, he said, I don't want Americans to know that they're speaking to foreigners. So your job is to teach them complete English grammar and remove their accents. Lived very well, too. I got a salary of $1,000 a month, and a regular Romanian salary was $200 a month.
I call bullshit on that one. She was not TEFL certified, nor did she hold the bachelor's degree required. She also made the mistake of quoting today's pay versus the compensation issued 20 years ago. But the next one, put your drink down.
I'm friends with Anne Rice. Yeah, I'm friends with Anne Rice. And she helped me get a vampire story that I wrote back in college, published at the University of Louisiana. Oh, hush. Then I can bite my cat, my fiance, and my son, and we can all just live forever. I'm friends with Anne Rice. Yeah,
Jesus Tara first Nick Carter, which my sister briefly disproved. Now Anne Rice. How about show us the novel? Or maybe just a picture. Preferably one that isn't photoshopped, like the ones that you have of you and Robbie. Speaking of stories and lies, let's move on to your next. You're always attempting to steal somebody else's, well, everything. If it isn't their trauma, experiences, or content, it's their hard work. Francesca Hepton is and always has been the author of Kiki and Friends. You thought because she was a small author from the UK no one would notice and you could claim her hard work as your own, since you, in fact, have not been able to hold a job or even work for that matter since 2013, which I can prove. But we'll get to that later.
I mean, I worked for a cat rescue, and I think we had 14 cats at once. We were constantly driving around town and like just picking up groups of cats and then taking them. There was a veterinarian in South Georgia that would fix and immunize these cats for free. And so we would just take like 20 cats every weekend, and we'd get them fixed and everything. We bring them back and let them back out.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? It's not a job, though. It's called volunteering. Your friend didn't sound very convinced. Who can blame him? What about this? Your LinkedIn profile. When and where? You do know you have to go to school for computer programming and web design, right? Experience stay at home isn't going to fly. Weirdo. So far, the only one that is possibly true is that you volunteered for a cat rescue. Still no job. But Long John Silver's at 17. An attempt at an MLM and an eBay thief. So, again, Long John Silver's. Only a little more shit to sift through. Reaper also claimed she was going to walk right in and take the bar exam to be a whole-ass attorney.
I have started studying for the bar exam, and I will be taking it. And I'm going to go into probation law. I would like to be a probation attorney.
How'd that go, genius? You do realize there are only 4 states, California, Virginia, Washington, and Vermont, all of which you have to be a resident of, that let you take the bar exam without attending law school. All are through a 3- and 4-year legal supervised apprenticeship. So you can study all you want, but you can't just walk in and take the bar exam. She claimed to be a sports announcer for hockey and other sports. Never happened. Only in her head.
Channel on my community page that I had landed me an amazing job co-hosting highlights with hockey and, once the season ends, other sports.
Were you a weather girl at some time?
No, but I wanted to be a meteorologist, so I studied it.
Next, a Ghostbuster or paranormal something, which to me sounds like a hobby. But anyway, it lasted a total of 2 streams when she claimed to have gotten hurt by an unseen something or other, at which time her fiancé demanded she stop.
The channel was officially going to be paranormal investigating because I've been doing that for a long time. But my fiancé fears for my safety. So, and he's right, I did get injured doing an investigation. Because he can't protect me from something that it's not there. And I think that's why he doesn't want me doing it anymore. Like, I wish he would change his mind and let me do it again.
Yeah.
But
Weird. Next.
I agree, Flaky Jake. Coffee all the way. I used to run a coffee shop.
By...
Yes, I used to run a coffee shop. My really, really good friend owned it, and I helped run it for about 8 years. I want to open my own coffee shop at some point when I move to Texas.
Sure, Tara. Whatever you say. I hope you reported that to Social Security Disability, but you didn't really work at a friend's coffee shop, did you? I mean, you were literally homeless and couldn't make it more than 2 days at a Starbucks. So Starbucks for 2 days, Long John Silver's, an MLM, and although I call bullshit on the whole hacker thing, that's more of a wish she could, but lacks the intelligence. If she wants to claim the criminality, fuck it. Why not? Thanks again for the laugh on this one, Reaper. Anne Rice, you're pathetic. Speaking of pathetic, how dare you take Mrs. Hepton's hard work and passion to claim as your own? Here's her site if anyone would like to go see the real author. TNR is volunteer work, Tara. Volunteering may be work, but it's not a job. Nice try, though. None of these are legit. Last but not least, and how could I or anyone forget? The IRS flex. Well, let's take a quick look, see. So Reaper claims to have connects because she worked for the IRS? The way she tells it. You'd think she was an actual IRS agent, and it looks like a dirty one at that, with claims of being able to find out people's personal information for the purpose of exploitation. And one of my favorite, claiming to have actual human friends that still not only work there, but will risk their jobs to get her information to use in internet drama. God, this woman lies. Offering money or asking favors of real IRS agents in exchange for preferential treatment or confidential information is illegal. Violations of federal bribery laws can lead to significant penalties, including fines, imprisonment, and disqualification from holding any federal office. You're so full of shit, Reaper. You literally lie so much you debunk your own lies. So, Mrs. IRS agent, or should I say employee in training, which you didn't even make it through. I mean, hell, they didn't even keep you long enough for the sign-on bonus. Yet you got pull for favors, right? How embarrassing. I will be reporting that you're using your measly little time as a trainee for a flex, claiming you can get people's personal information as a favor. Obviously, you won't lose a job you really never had, nor will it affect the job you never plan on getting.
I need it because ever since I lost my, I was the IRS agent, and when they got in trouble over the fact that people that were mailing in their returns were not receiving returns, I know why they weren't getting those returns. But instead of the IRS taking accountability for their own bullshit, they fired 1,300 of us and said, we're just going to say it was your guys' fault.
Ouch.
So since then, it's been hard trying to find another job.
Still, they don't like to be embarrassed, it seems. It's called misrepresentation. Impersonating a federal employee or using a former position for personal gain is a violation of federal law. You can report suspected misconduct, waste, fraud, or abuse by an IRS employee or a tax professional. IRS hotline. The IRS has a hotline to report such incidents. 800-366-4484. Anonymity. You can report information anonymously. Reporting is not a waste of time. Here is one example of many. Former IRS employee kept his pocket card, which he used to flash at officers after being pulled over. A warrant was issued for his arrest. The possible penalty was 6 months in jail, 5 years probation, and a fine of $5,000. I mean, come on, it's the IRS. You have to be a total moron to fuck with them.
I'm not even going to give her a chance to backpedal out of this one. Plus, I think it's important for her supporters to know where their money is going. Reaper doesn't have a job. YouTube is her job, unless Social Security has caught up with her and revoked benefits. Besides her 5 months as an IRS trainee in a brief attempt, 2 days, or was it 2 weeks, at Starbucks, when she chose to be homeless for her short stay in Texas. Imagine having your son live in a car so you can live down the street from your man in prison and you can't even hold a Starbucks job. Anyways, working just isn't Reaper's thing. Begging is easier. The money she makes off of YouTube goes to that piece of shit murderer that won't marry hers, Canteen. You lied to your supporters, claiming that your YT money doesn't go to fund his canteen.
No, I actually just sent him a nice big commissary list. And yeah, everything on his commissary came from my work paycheck, not from donations from YouTube or my YouTube paycheck.
They deserve to know and choose what their money is going to. Like an upgraded mattress, fluffy pillow, TV, MP3 player, radio, tablet, Apple Play, downloads, music, candy, snacks, drinks, elaborate food items, toiletries beyond basic needs, name brand, skincare, hair care, clothes like t-shirts, wife beaters, beanies, socks, underwear. Yeah, you're buying his upgraded underwear. An assortment of hobby supplies. In his case, canvases, brushes, paints, all of which she tried to sell back to her followers. The list goes on and on. I mean, damn, y'all have made him a bougie prison bitch. No wonder Bubba can't keep his eyes off of him. I really don't give a fuck what you do or who you follow. I just think it's important to know where your money's going. And right now, the money that she gets off of YouTube, which I think last month was about $8,000, it goes to a man in prison. He broke off 4 knives into a very petite mother of 2. She has no intention of getting that bitch off the app, like she says.
No, listen. The more lives Lisa does, the more videos I get to make.
The more money you get to make. Keep on coming, baby.
I do know she's full of shit. I know that she's not reporting to anyone.
Yeah, they're looking into it. They're aware of him now. The detective just asked me for basic information. His name is birth. Yeah, they're very aware of it now, and they're on top of it. Has any questions? Like I said, there's some stuff I can't say. When the time comes, I would be able to verify if the news is correct. Yeah, because I know when I spoke to the FBI agent last week, they had said they'd been watching him in the FBI until I was speaking to one of the detectives there in Huntington, and it was the detective who asked me to hold and put me through to an FBI agent.
If you don't care where the money goes, that's fine. But if you're going to her to hear Lisa content and 95% of it is bullshit, then what the fuck are you doing besides making that girl relevant? I don't get the fascination with hating someone so much, but not being able to separate yourself from them. It's kind of crazy that people are going to be actively reporting. So far, it's already pain management, Social Security, and the IRS. The person who is reporting things on someone else. And those are pretty big fucking things to be reported on.
I'll be posting this in its entirety. I just want to let her do her thing and say it's not her.
And I want to make this clear again because some of you just don't understand, but I have never followed Lisa Richard. I have never talked about Lisa Richard unless I had to because it was in reference to something else. I have never asked about her. So if I haven't done all those things, I sure as fuck have never given her money. I'm beginning to think that some of you that were stand by her are just in the pathway for it to happen, because a lot of you are now following Reaper and falling for her bullshit.
Not true. My job, we do that. We deal with all of that with food stamp, Medicaid, all of that stuff. And if we are given word that there's some kind of fraud going on or that there's been large amounts of money going into their account and they're not reporting it, again, I work for Texas, not Pennsylvania. So for my state, yes, we